Hello everyone. Welcome to today's Chinese lesson. Today we are going to learn something about Chinese grammar. Do you know which order is correct? No? That is what we are going to talk today. The basic order of Chinese sentence. Now let's move on to more specific topics. Today we are going to have two topics. One is about confirmative sentences. Another one is about interrogative sentences. Let's take a look at the confirmative sentences first. As I understand, you have already started Chinese conversation lessons, so that you have known some of the expressions in Chinese, like greeting people, introducing one's name, etc. Do you remember the greeting expressions like 你好, 您好, 老师好, 同学们好? Do you remember the expressions of introducing oneself like 我叫大卫, 我叫李明? Good! There are two kinds of typical structures in Chinese. One of them use adjectives, another use verbs. Let's take a look at these sentences. 你好, 您好, 老师好, 同学们好. Here, 你好 means hello or how are you? 您好 is to greeting people in a polite way. 老师好 and 同学们好 will be used in classroom to greeting teacher and answering greeting from students. What did you notice when I read them for you? 你好, 您好, 老师好, 同学们好. Yes, it seems that we can divide each of the sentences into two parts. One part could be 你, 您, 老师, 同学们, and the other part is 好. In this case, you may have realized that 你 and 您 are pronouns, and 老师, 同学 are nouns on the left side. Here, 同学们 is plural form of 同学. 好 is an adjective on the right side. According to linguists, the left part is called the subject of the sentence, and the right side is called the predicate of a sentence. Now you know that subject plus predicate is one kind of Chinese sentences, and an adjective could be used as predicate directly. Now let's take a look at another kind of expressions which has a verb and object in these sentences. We can again divide each of them into two parts. But in this case, we see something a little different from the 你好 groups, because the predicates could be divided into two subdivisions. 叫 are verbs, and 大卫, 李明 are nouns, and also they are objects of verbs, according to the linguists. Actually, the expressions can be divided into three parts. If we translate the sentences into English, word by word, we can get the order of them. In this case, we see the order of Chinese sentence is close to English. Actually, it is similar to most of the languages in the world. Now you got to know the two kinds of Chinese patterns in grammar. If we have them formalized, we can write them as follows. The first part is subject plus adjective. For example, 你好，老师好。The second part, the subject plus verb and object. For example, 我叫大卫，我叫李明。The second formula is almost the same as English, which should similar to most languages in the world. But the first one may be different from some of the languages, include English. Please be careful in your future study. You have now learned the order of Chinese sentence in a confirmative way. Now, let us see how to raise a question in Chinese. The questions we use very often in Chinese is the yes-no question. The most important word you should know is ma, which is a question word we use in raising a yes-no question. Actually, there are 4 kinds of ways to raise a question in Chinese. But a yes-no question will be very easy for you, since you have already learned the answer to it. The answer is 我叫李明. If you want to raise a question based on this answer, you can just simply add the question word ma at the end of the sentence and transfer the subject from 我 to 你. Yes, you got it. 你叫李明吗? Here we pronounce ma with light tone. Isn't it easy? So let's see. Which is correct? 叫你李明吗? 你叫李明吗? 吗? 你叫李明? Have you found the correct one? Let's look at the question and answer together. 你叫李明吗? 是，我叫李明。是 here means yes. If you want to say no, you say 不. The full answer in negative way is 不，我不叫李明 means no, I'm not Li Ming. If you need to know what, who, where, when, etc., in this case, you have to learn another kind of question in Chinese. Actually, we use similar interrogative words as in English, but the order of sentence is much easier than in English. So when you want to know one's name, you say 你叫什么名字? When you want to answer this question, you can simply replace the phrase with the question word like 我叫李明. 李明 replaces 什么名字? It's easy, isn't it? Let us compare the 2 kinds of Chinese interrogative sentences with English. English speakers will reverse the order of subject and verb whatever they raise a yes-no question or an indication question. But Chinese speakers just add a question word at the end of the sentence or replace the question word with the answer. Up to now, you have learned the basic order of Chinese sentences in both confirmative and interrogative ways. We can make a short summary about the order of Chinese sentences. The confirmative sentences, 你好，我叫李明. The interrogative sentences, 你叫李明吗? 你叫什么名字? Thank you for listening. That's all for today. Bye-bye.
1. Greeting.
你好，
你好，
同学们好，
老师好，
早上好，
早上好，
您好，
你好，
再见，
再见，
明天见。
明天见。2. Self-introduction. 你好，
你好，
你叫什么名字？
我叫大卫，你呢？
我叫李明。3. Thanking and making apology.
对不起，
没关系，
谢谢你，
不客气。